Jai Hind everyone. So continuing with the session of renewable energy resources, today we will discuss about geothermal energy. Geothermal energy is one of the type of the renewable energy resources. So till now we have discussed about the renewable energy resources. Non-renewable energy resources, their merits and demerits also. So like renewable energy resources, they are the coming, or they are having the potential and they are in demand. They are very well suitable for the atmosphere because they are not creating any pollution. They are unlimited in quantity, while on the other way, the non-renewable energy resources, they are limited in quantity. They are creating pollution to the atmosphere, and we can there are different type of renewable energy resources and non-renewable energy resources. Like when we are talking about renewable energy resources, so one is solar energy, then tidal energy, then wind energy, then OTEC, Ocean Thermal Energy Conversion System, then geothermal energy. Similarly, non-renewable energy resources like petrol, diesel, coal, etc. These are limited in quantity. And besides that, we have discussed in brief these energy resources and also solar energy in detail. In solar energy, we have discussed about what are the mode and what is the mechanism to convert the energy of sun into electricity form. Like we have discussed about photovoltaic effect, we have discussed about cell, we have discussed about array, we have discussed about panel, module. Cell is a small component that is used to convert the solar energy into electricity form. Like this is a small component, and when a number of small components, or we need more energy to be required, then we use number of small cells. They are connected to each other, and this is called module. When these number of they are having a number of series and parallel arrangement of these cells, then this makes a panel. This is a panel. And when there are number of panels, panel 1, similarly panel 2, like this, then we have a array of this solar energy, solar system, that is used to convert into electricity form. And we have seen that different type of thermal power, we have seen that the mechanism, like we are using the solar energy and we are having the collectors. That collectors collect the sun radiations at a particular point, at a particular area, and convert these radiations at a focal point, and there is a fluid which is flowing and get heated by absorbing the radiations of the sun. Then this energy is transferred to the water, and the phase of the water changes into steam form, and the steam is used to run the turbine because it is having high pressure, and that turbine is used to run the generator through a coupler, that is used to generate the electricity. Then this steam is, the pressure is reduced by the pressure of the steam after coming from the turbine get reduced, and then it is flowing into the condenser, convert into water, and again it is used to we are using some thermal energy of the sun and get convert this in water into steam form. So like that we have discussed about different applications. Solar energy is also used for cooling and heating purposes, and we are having different type of collectors like concentrating collectors and non-concentrating collectors. We are having the flat plate collectors. There are different materials for that collectors. There are different advantages and disadvantages of different type of collectors. We are using compound type of collectors, mirror type of collectors we are using. Then we have discussed about the solar pond, in which we are using the brine as a medium for transferring the heat that absorbed by the sodium chloride solution, and this energy is transferred to the water, and that is used for some useful purpose. So this whole we have discussed till now. Now today we will discuss about geothermal energy, which is also a type of renewable energy resources. So resources of geothermal energy, then thermodynamics of geothermal energy conversion, electrical conversion, means all the energy having some enthalpy. Thermodynamics means enthalpy, how we can mathematically or we can quantify that, how we can convert the different phases of this energy and transfer this energy into water, and then water, the transfer of energy to the water, and water gets converted into steam, and this steam is used to run the turbine. So geothermal energy means the energy which is contained by the earth, and it is lying more than 100 kilometers inside the earth. Then some non-electrical conversion, some other useful purpose we can use, like for bathing purpose we are using hot water for bathing in colder areas. The environmental considerations also we are considered, because when we are using this type of energy, there are some ingredients, some polluting materials are there, some hot gases are there, that we have to remove during the utilization of that type of energy. So we are having the separators, and that we will discuss in the coming slides. So geothermal energy is a form of renewable energy having the source of natural heat inside the earth. Means it is not a artificial heat or artificial source, like, so this is a natural heat inside the earth. It is a renewable, since the earth's interior will continue to energy having high energy density, and it is because of the frictions between the different layers of the earth. It is inexhaustible like solar or wind energy. Like solar energy and wind energy, it is unlimited in quantity. And one more point we have to note that most of the energy are depend upon the solar energy. Like we are using wind energy, ocean thermal energy. So in wind, for the development of wind, we need solar energy, because for wind generation we need some temperature gradient, and therefore solar energy is required. For biomass energy, again solar energy is required for the growth of the plant, and after the completion of the life of the plant, that wood we can use for some useful form. The geothermal energy in the form of heat energy can be utilized economically and efficiently for power generation and other applications with the existing available technologies. Means existing technology is there, and we have to use, we can make a drill up to the depth of the energy is there in the form of magma. Magma is a molten metal, molten rock, which is having a high temperature. So we can make a drill there and convert this energy to heat the water, and thereby after converting that heated energy of water into steam form. So technology is required, and sometimes we need, because brine solution is there, so we have to separate that brine from the water, and therefore we can use that water for some useful form, and other applications with the existing available technologies. Though the amount of thermal energy within the earth is very large, yes, it is infinite, and it is everywhere. Everywhere means most of the area that having the heat energy, but only particular area that we can use for commercial purposes. Because when we are going to drill the earth, there is a possibility of that some layers may collapse inside the earth, rupture, and some landslide is there. So there is a possibility of mishappening is there. So we have to find the areas that we can utilize for commercial purpose, for and consider the safety also. So useful geothermal energy is limited to certain site only. It is there in other area also, but only useful energy is for certain area, restricted to certain sites only in the world, because of the feasibility to access and extract heat. The sites from where, and it is a time taking process to drill the surface of the earth and extract the useful energy from that region. So the sites from where the thermal energy can be extracted are called geothermal fields. The commercial utilization of this energy started first in Italy in Leonardo in 1904. Then in Lardell 1913, then Iceland in 1930, and other part of the world by 2000. So this is the development or chronology, we can say, that how the use of geothermal energy started from 19th century. In India, about 50 shallow wells are drilled for steam production in Jammu and Kashmir belt. The thermal springs are found in different parts of India, like Himachal Pradesh, in Kullu and Manali. We can see that springs are there. Maharashtra, Cambay of Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, and some parts of Bihar and Assam. The origin of geothermal energy. The Earth's interior having mass of hot liquid, means energy is form of a certain mass, that is hot liquid, or the gases are there, hot gases are there, and steam is cooling slowly. Steam means hot mass that is called as magma, and the water that is around these mass is converted into steam form, and some hot gases are there. And the temperature of the Earth's core is estimated to be about 4000 degrees Celsius. The average geothermal heat dissipated from the land is about 0.06 watt per meter square, and which is very, very less than in comparison to the solar heat energy, which is 1 kilowatt per meter square. Because the geothermal energy is restricted, means contained inside the earth, so dissipation is minimum. In the other case, solar energy, that is having the energy in the form of beam radiations and diffused radiations. So beam radiations are focused and directly falls on the affected area, while the diffused radiations are those radiations which get scattered, and their direction is changes continuously, so the heat is not fully utilized. Below the solid crust is the molten mass called magma, which is still in the process of cooling. Means solid crust is there, then molten mass, that is the main source of energy, heat energy, is called magma, is there. The Earth's vibrations cause the magma to come near the Earth's surface. It is a continuous phenomena, and therefore magma which comes to the surface, we know that hot liquid, hot fluids are flowing in upward direction. The Earth's surface thus causes active volcanoes, hot springs, and geysers water exist. That energy we can utilize. The hot magma near the surface solidifies into igneous rock, means near the surface the temperature gets reduced and the phase of this magma changes into solid form. The heat of magma is conducted upwards into this rock. Heat is flowing in upward direction because we know that because of force of buoyancy, that heat is flowing in upward direction into this rock, and groundwater that finds its way down to this rock. The water which is having trapped there in the ground and finds the way to reach there to this rock through fisheries, it will be by the heat of the rock or by mixing with hot gases and steam emanating from the magma. Therefore, steam is emanating from the magma, and means there is hot water is converted into steam form when it is mixed with the hot magma. The heated water will then rise upward by convection into porous and permeable reservoir. There is a porous and permeable reservoir through which that steam is passing through. It is like above the ignition rock. It is covered by the layer of solid impermeable rock. That is, small holes are there. It traps the hot water in the reservoir called hydrothermal field. The hot water which is trapped there, it is called hydrothermal field. A well made by drilling hole in the upper crust in the region of hydrothermal field can be used to trap steam for the use in conventional power plant. Means we can drill there, then we can extract this steam through some mechanism and utilize this for generation of electricity. The steam originating from magma is called meteoritic steam. That is the largest source of geothermal steam. This is a diagram. In this, we can easily understand how the geothermal field is and igneous rock are placed, and how water trapped is there and it is converted into steam. So magma is here. Is there in liquid form, and heat is liberating everywhere. When ignition rock is there, here it is converted into a solidified form, and then porous rock hydrothermal field is there, and water is trapped here. And this water takes the energy from this magma and get converted into steam form, and this water is going through this fisheries, and then finally solid impermeable rock is there. Through the steam is passing through these holes, solid impermeable rock, and reaches to the desired location. Similarly, hot springs are there. So what we can do, we can make a drill directly here through this area, and this spring, this water is converted into this water becomes heated, and finally it converts into steam form by some mechanism, and that steam we can use for generation of electricity. Now the classification of geothermal energy resources or systems. So the geothermal energy systems may be classified as hydrothermal. Hydrothermal, basically the convective source of energy, or we can say source. Then hot HDR, hot dry rock system is there. Then geopressure system is there. So there are three types of classification, three types of geothermal energy resources. First is the hydrothermal convective resources. We are saying convective because convection is there and therefore heat is transferred. These resources are located shallow to moderate depths of 100 meter to 5 kilometer. Means that is very close to the surface of the earth in comparison to other resources of the geothermal energy. And in such, water is heated by contact with the hot rock. That we have discussed in the previous slides, how hot rock is there, magma is there, and high pressurized steam is generated up to about 350 degrees Celsius. These resources further divided into following categories depending upon whether steam or hot water is the dominating product. Means the steam is we are using as a source, or hot water is a source. So dry steam field means we are using a steam, vapor dominated. Then wet steam field means liquid dominated. The steam is in liquid form. So these are the two types, dry steam and wet steam fields. Now dry steam or vapor dominated systems. Such system delivers steam with little or no water. Means there is no water is there, only steam is there, of high pressure and temperature up to 200 degrees Celsius. This steam is to generate electrical energy by electromechanical energy conversion. Simple concept is there, as in case of solar energy, the energy of sun radiation is used to convert the water into steam form. Here we are using geothermal source of energy to convert water into steam, and electricity is generated through a generator using the turbines. The steam extracted from such fields may contain some amount of water and solid particles. Those are removed in a centrifugal separator. Means when we are drilling particular field, some impurities are there, some earth gradients are there, some particles are there, that will corrode or that will create some disturbance when this steam is used directly to run the turbine, or when the steam is falling on the plates of the turbine. So it is required to remove those particles and other unwanted material through a centrifugal separator. In a centrifugal separator, circular, because of centrifugal force, what happens? Steam is, because of light, it moves in away from the center, and the particles which are having higher density moves towards the center, and therefore we can separate the steam and solid particles. This pure dry steam is then directly supplied to a steam turbine, which is coupled to a generator. Then condenser is used to condense the exhaust steam. After the turbine, the pressure of the steam get reduced, and then we have to utilize this steam again. So we have to condense it, convert into water form, liquid form. So we need cooling tower is there used to condense. The condenser is used to condense the exhaust steam from the turbine for recirculation purpose of cold water. This cold water is either sent to chemical recovery, or it is re-injected into hot field with the help of condensate pump. The main drawbacks of these plants are the presence of corrosive gases and abrasive material, which cause the environmental problems. If there is a leakage somewhere, so that will create some harmful effect to the environment. This is a diagram. So from this diagram we can easily understand how dry steam power plant works. So in this, production well is there, thermal energy source. So production well is there, so we have to make the drill. In the previous diagram we have seen that how magma is there and we are creating a drill there. Then steam is there, dry steam is flowing in this direction. Now there is a separator that is used because of the centrifugal separator is there that separates the steam from the impurities. Then this steam is flowing to the turbine. This turbine is used to run the generator, and after that the pressure of this turbine, this steam get reduced, and this condenser we are using to convert this steam into liquid form. Then condenser is there, and chemical recovery we can, because when we are using this water, because of some scaling property and other things, we have to recover this condensate, and then we transfer this into injection well, again sent into the surface of the earth. So this is how dry steam power plant works. So this is total about today's session. In the next section, we will discuss other types of the power plant or geothermal energy resources. Thank you.